Chapter 15, Cognitive Development in the Primary Years. This chapter explores the intellectual development of primary grade children. A major focus is on how primary cognition influences and is influenced by formal schooling. In almost all cultures in which schools exist, formal education begins sometime between ages 5 and 8. Why? In some societies, it is a long-standing tradition that children go to school at a certain chronological age. In the United States, for example, age 5 or 6 is considered to be school age, the time when school and classroom instruction and daily school routines should begin. Chronological age, however, is less important in some other cultures. Children are considered ready to learn at whatever point in time they show significant intellectual change. Psychologists have a more formal explanation for what happens during this period of development. Primary age children are entering a new stage of cognitive development known as concrete operational stage. At this stage, children show new intellectual abilities and a growing capacity to use language. Thus, it is no coincidence that the period between 6 and 7 years of age is almost universally considered a time to begin formal schooling. Early childhood professionals need to understand that the primary age period is one in which emerging competencies as well as limitations become apparent. Expecting too much of a child in school can lead to what David Elkind calls miseducation. This chapter also has 7 critical concepts. Critical concept number 1. Children's success in school is related in part to general intelligence. One measure of intelligence is the intelligence quotient, or IQ, which is determined by a score on a standardized test. Concerns have been raised about IQ as an adequate measure of intellectual functioning, however. Some researchers have found that IQ tests only measure one narrow type of intelligence and fail to appreciate others. Others have argued that IQ tests favor children of Euro-American backgrounds. IQ test bias have been a persistent concern in American education. Critical concept number 2. Piaget has looked at intelligence differently. Rather than quantifying intelligence with numbers, he has described intellectual processes. He has focused as much on how children learn on what they know. He found that unique thought processes, decentering, reversibility, and causal thinking emerge in the primary years. These abilities allow children to acquire new knowledge in math, social studies, science, and other academic areas. Critical concept number 3. There is great variation in children's cognitive development in the primary years. Children of some cultures will be more advanced than Piaget would have predicted, others less so. Such differences may be explained by the diverse life experiences and competencies that are valued by families of different backgrounds. Critical concept number 4. Vygotsky has shown that children's learning is enhanced when their teacher or peers guide their problem solving with a zone of proximal development. This zone is a point in the learning experience where a task is just beyond a child's level of understanding. With hints, questions, or modeling, children in this zone can be promoted to accomplish the task on their own. Critical concept number 5. Memory improves during the primary years. One ability which enhances memory at this age is metacognition, the awareness of and ability to regulate one's own thought processes. Children begin to control their own thinking at this age. They can choose to attend to some stimuli and not others, for example, and can rehearse information and skills they wish to retain. Memory and metacognition strategies will vary among children of different cultures. Critical concept number 6. Children of some cultural groups perform less well in school. Clashes in cognitive styles, poor schools, and negative family attitudes are contributors. Research shows that cultural differences are minimized when the effect of socioeconomic status is controlled. Children of diverse cultural groups who have the same socioeconomic status will be more alike than different in their performance in the classroom. And lastly, critical concept number 7. A number of challenging conditions affect intellectual development and school success. Children with learning disabilities and giftedness often require unique instructional intervention.